Bodies of children pile up in medieval Cambridge, and the Crown summons a Sicilian woman trained to read the secrets of the dead. Beat. In a world ruled by faith and fear, can hard science uncover an inconvenient truth before an innocent people burn? 1. A kingdom in fear. Picture England in 1171, a damp, restless land where rumour travels faster than any royal courier. Beat. 4 children have been brutally murdered near Cambridge, their tiny corpses maimed in a way that screams ritual sacrifice. Beat. The local populace, stoked by clerics hungry for easy scapegoats, points an accusing finger at the Jews quarantined within the castle keep. Beat. King Henry II recoils, not from piety, but from the silver flowing into his treasury through Jewish taxes. He cannot afford a massacre that would bankrupt him. Beat. So he petitions the enlightened medical school of Salerno for a specialist in death, what we might call a forensic pathologist today. Beat. Enter Vesuvia, Adelia, Rachel Ortese. Aguilar, a woman whose mind is sharper than any monk's quill and whose mere presence in a healer's robe threatens the social order. Beat. Her companions are equally unconventional. Simon of Naples, a Jewish investigator whose compassion tempers Adelia's precision, and Mansour, an Arab eunuch whose sword arm hides an earthy humour. Beat. Together, they disembark at Southampton, trudge across mud-slick roads, and finally reach a Cambridge dripping with suspicion. Beat. Adelia, forced to masquerade as Simon's translator because the locals can't fathom a female doctor, nevertheless claims her first corpse with surgical calm. Beat. Under flickering rushlights, she charts stab wounds, bite marks, and the telling absence of blood, building the first clues in what will become a battle between emphasis, reason, and fear. 2. Science versus superstition. In the medieval mind, the body is a vessel for sin, and cutting it open is a form of witchcraft. Beat. Adelia therefore conducts her autopsies in secret barns and half-frozen riverbanks, converting fish knives and cooking pots into crude instruments of inquiry. Beat. Each incision is a dialogue with the dead. Each discovered splinter or ligature mark whispers of the killer's methodology. Beat. But even as evidence accumulates, the town's hysteria deepens. Beat. Father Gilther, a fire and brimstone priest, denounces Adelia's work as devilry, while Prior Geoffrey quietly fans prejudice to shield his monastery's own hidden rot. Beat. Here Franklin paints the clash between empirical observation and blind dogma with deft strokes. Adelia counts maggots to estimate time of death. The townsfolk count omens in the flight of crows. Beat. We watch tensions rise when Ulf, a 5th child, disappears. Beat. The hunt sweeps across fens and graveyards, and Adelia's progress feels like a candle in a crypt, fragile yet relentless. Beat. Enter Sir Rowley Picot, the king's fixer, cloaked in charm and covert authority. Beat. Rowley recognizes Adelia's intellect, even as he bristles at her stubborn streak. Their banter crackles, passion and peril braided together. Beat. When Adelia extracts a dog's tooth from a victim's rib, she overturns the theory of a Jewish ritual entirely. Beat. The community, however, prefers a familiar villain to an unknown predator. Beat. Trial by water looms for the Jews. Bonfires are stacked high with tinder. Beat. Franklin thus interrogates how societies weaponize ignorance, illustrating that the most lethal force is not the blade, but sanctioned lies. Beat. In this crucible, Adelia must shield facts from the furnace of collective rage, embodying the novel's central emphasis theme, truth as the ultimate heresy. 3. Masks of power and desire. The closer Adelia edges to revelation, the more the narrative exposes England's overlapping power structures. Beat. Rowley escorts her to the royal court at Woodstock, where Henry II, part warlord, part reformer, plays politics like chess with living pieces. Beat. We glimpse the king's frustration with the church, his volatile love for Eleanor of Aquitaine, and his ruthless pragmatism. Beat. Henry's directive is simple: find the killer, save the Jews, and restore royal income. Beat. Yet Adelia discerns subplots beneath subplots, forged charters, land disputes, and clerical cover-ups that profit from persecution. Beat. Meanwhile, desire coils between her and Rowley. Beat. Their attraction is a meeting of minds first, bodies second, rendered deliciously modern without betraying medieval mores. Beat. A stolen kiss under chapel eaves blurs the line between professional duty and personal longing. Franklin reminds us that even the most analytic heart can misfire in the presence of danger. Beat. Back in Cambridge, a foiled attempt on Adelia's life signals that the murderer enjoys high protection. Beat. Her discoveries implicate not a faceless demon, but a beloved pillar of the community whose piety masks sadistic compulsion. Beat. This pivot reframes the mystery from "who did it" to "who dares accuse him?", a question more perilous than any dagger. Beat. The theme of authority masquerading as virtue reaches its zenith when ecclesiastical courts maneuver to reclaim jurisdiction, eager to silence Adelia's blasphemous blades. Beat. She counters with Rowley's royal seal and her own indomitable will, staging a confrontation where logic strips holiness bare. Beat. Through these beats, Franklin interrogates how gender, class, and office can be both armor and prison. Beat. Adelia, Mansour, and Simon learn that solving a crime is easy compared with compelling the powerful to accept the solution, especially when that truth threatens their emphasis, prestige. 4. The cost of truth. The final act unfurls in a tempest of revelation and sacrifice. Beat. Adelia reconstructs the killer's timeline, matching tool marks, travel distances, and tides along the river Great Use. Beat. When she confronts the murderer, she meets not madness, but icy rationality, a sadist who derives pleasure from manipulating both bodies and narrative. Beat. He abducts Ulf and lures Adelia to the marshes, calculating that her compassion will outweigh caution. Beat. What follows is a visceral showdown amid sucking mud and whipping rain, where Mansour's scimitar meets clerical staff, and Simon's steady faith counters the killer's blasphemous scripture. Beat. Adelia, cornered, employs her medical knowledge defensively, using quicklime and river reeds as improvised weapons. Beat. Ulf is rescued, but Simon is mortally wounded, his last breath a benediction of gratitude for the woman who proved his people's innocence. Beat. The Jews are released, their future still precarious, yet momentarily free from collective ire. Beat. Adelia stands before Henry II with blood on her hands, some of it her own, delivering not just the culprit's name, but a damning critique of the structures that enabled him. Beat. The king rewards her with estates she cannot legally own as a woman. Rowley offers partnership she's not sure she can accept without sacrificing autonomy. Beat. Here the novel captures the bittersweet aftermath of justice, victories tinged with loss, freedoms bound by era. Beat. Adelia chooses to remain in England, resolving to practice medicine in secret while raising her unborn child, Simon's legacy guiding her moral compass. Beat. Franklin closes this circle by showing that truth demands payment, in blood, in reputation, and in the quiet compromises that follow public triumph. Beat. Yet it is a price Adelia willingly pays, affirming that the relentless pursuit of knowledge is itself a sacred, if perilous, vocation.